Hello, everyone. Welcome back. To episode 3 of the Blind Border Donkey podcast. I'm your host, Raymond Al-Azar, at your service, at your disposal, with a disposable. Today's Thursday. According to my astrology, Thursday is my lucky day. I don't even believe in astrology. I think that's all bullshit, but apparently Thursday is my lucky day, so. And it was lucky. It was a pretty good day, if I do say so myself. I had a lot of interesting moments, to say the least. I woke up, took my creatine, 5 grams, you know what I'm saying? 5 G's of white powder keeps the demons away, keeps the mind sharp. Fucking woke up, crossed the border, went to work, did some productive stuff. I talked to a dude and things went well. Clocked out, punched out, went home, did my chores, and here we are, you know? Pretty boring, but it was a good day. That's what I've realized, is that not every day has to be crazy, you know, and full of jargon and just crazy stuff. It doesn't have to be like a nutty day for it to be good, you know. I think a lot of my life has revolved around chaos and just kind of learning how to control it. Today was one of those days where it went pretty well for me. It went pretty fucking well. And, I mean, where do I start? I hopped on the motorcycle when I crossed, and I saw some pretty interesting stuff right before I crossed. I noticed that people started like saying hi to me and stuff when I was riding, like as if they knew me, but it was just like a commonality between bikers, you know. Like every motorcyclist for some reason looks out for each other. They're like, beep, beep. And they do that. And then you just feel like, oh, beep, beep. You do it right back. It's a cool feeling, man. It's a cool feeling. I saw on Facebook, though, this poor dude, he was like an older gentleman on a bike. He got into a scuffle with some dude at the border who was in his car. The guy got out of his car, was arguing in this dude's face for cutting him, which I think is bullshit. I mean, if you're a motorcyclist, you should just be able to fucking cut everyone to the front. I mean, you have 2 wheels and your width is not long, you know, so you should be technically allowed to just cut, like. But this guy felt offended and he punched him in the face. He had a motorcycle helmet, but without the visor. So he just punched like through the opening where the visor is, punched him right in the eye, and went back in his car. And the cyclist just kind of took it and was like, okay, yep. I don't know if he got arrested for it, but it got posted online on Facebook, on the subreddit, on subreddit, Reddit. Don't ever go on Reddit. That's where dreams go to die. I saw it on Facebook on the community Como está la línea, which is like for people who cross all the time. Like Chicanos is like, oh, how long is the border wait, or where does it start, where does it end? And I just felt like so mad and upset for this guy. I'm like, I can't believe he just got away with that, you know? He just got punched in the face, and then the guy just got in his car like nothing happened. Like, and he was in U.S. territory. I mean, he's like right there, right where all the CBP is, and I was just like, damn, bro, like that would take a lot of self-control for me to not just like go crazy and start fighting back, you know? I mean, I don't like to be violent, but sometimes people are crazy and traffic makes people crazy. Did you know that a lot of drivers, their brain is actually kind of wired towards anger and rage due to the gasoline scent from being in traffic all day. And I think that just probably set this guy off. He thought that the biker was in the wrong and he just decided to punch him in the fucking face for it. But clearly that guy is just a piece of shit. And, you know, he should definitely, like, he should face consequences for putting his hands on other people, you know? I mean, you're already about to cross. I mean, what's the fucking point, you know? Why are you getting mad at a single bike? When I cross on the motorcycle, I don't even take long with the guard. It's like a 1 minute, 2 minute interaction. You know what I mean? Like today, I got sent to secondary randomly. They searched my backpack. They try to like open up my seat, all this other shit. Like, hey, what's in your bike? I'm like, nothing, bro. It's an electric bike. Like, open up your gas tank. I'm like, nah, bro. It's a charger. It's not. I didn't talk like that to the federal agent, but it was just like, it was just funny, you know. It was I never usually get sent there, and I was on my way to work, but I was early, you know. I had like an hour and 40 minutes to get to work, or an hour and 20, and I wasn't stressing, you know. I was like, all right, whatever, you know. I know it's random. So yeah, I mean, just getting out of bed and making it to work is always a challenge, you know. I mean, if you're an adult, you can relate. It's not the easiest thing, especially when you're on the clock and you're under pressure, you know what I'm saying? But pressure makes diamonds. You know, I've always thought about that. Like, if we didn't have a reason to get up, you know, and just make shit happen as humans, would we even decide to get up? Would it be like the WALL-E movie? You guys ever seen WALL-E, where it's like the animated movie with the robot, the trash, and he meets Evie, and it's like this white advanced robot on like the trashed planet. Like the planet's already fucked, and all the humans are fat and like in space, and like just like sitting in chairs being transported everywhere in pods. Like that's a crazy depiction of the future of humanity a couple hundred years from now, but it's totally possible. I mean, we just got into another war, guys. I mean, we're at war with Iran. You know, you thought it was just Iraq, you thought it was just Afghanistan, you thought it was just Libya, you thought it was just all this shit. Nope. The US still wants to fucking destroy the Middle East because it's Trump's best interest. And I'm not gonna lie, I am a political guy. I am definitely more leaning on the liberal side. I don't think that the US should be so closed off from the world and blame immigrants and foreign countries for our problems that we create, you know? I mean, it's just nutty to me, man. Like, why are we doing all this? You know, it just makes us look bad. And I say us, as in I'm a United States citizen, but I'm getting my dual citizenship soon. So if they try and draft your boy to go fight a fucking bullshit war while my family and my little sister and my cousins are chilling over here, I'm fucking crossing back to Mexico and I'm not looking back. I'm gonna figure out how to fucking make my life and fuck all that shit, you know, fuck that shit. Like, I'm not dying for my country, you know what I mean? I'll serve crack before I serve the US for some bullshit and then come back all traumatized with no fucking resources or no help from the government, because that's really what we do to our soldiers in our army. Unfortunately, you know, we treat our military men and women with such terrible fucking service after they've committed service for our country, you know. And I can't believe we're still bombing people left and right, you know, and we're hiding behind these fucking drones and like doing this pussy ass warfare where we're not even like deploying boots on the ground on purpose. We're just bombing fucking sandal wearing fucking poor Middle Eastern people because we feel like we have to. You know, because Israel is up our fucking ass, you know, so deep in our government. And I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, if you just do your extensive research, you'll see how corrupt the US government is with their policies and whatnot. And there's been a lot of protests going on. I'll dive more into that next episode with the big, beautiful bill and all that. But it's just like our healthcare system is so fucked up and people are not able to afford their goddamn diabetes medicine. It's fucked, man. It's a crazy world we're living in right now, but I think I'm managing to keep a head on it all, just because I know that as long as I focus on my life and my health and my money and my career and my family and my spirituality and I do my meditation and I'm locked in. I'm not tripping on none of that. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, it's not a big deal. And I think people who watch the internet too much, especially social media, man, like my fucking like Facebook and Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, thanks Elon Musk, it's just, it's not healthy. You know, it's not healthy for the brain to be absorbing so much negativity, because that's all you see on the news is negative shit. Like, I don't ever see some positive shit on the news now. It's just fucking, this country is headed down a dark path, you know, and people are so divided more than ever just because it's like a repeat of 2016, 2015, you know, like nothing's changed, I don't think. And yeah, like, you know, maybe we're doing better economically or whatever the fuck, but goddamn, does it come at a price? You know, I mean, at the cost of lives, and not even just foreign lives in other countries, you know, but our own citizens, our own population is suffering because of the incompetence of government. And we just don't treat our veterans right. We don't treat our immigrant people right. I mean, they have a right to be here, man. They have a right to fucking be here. I don't give a fuck if they did it illegally. Like, they pay taxes. They've been paying taxes for decades. And people want to act like, oh, they're taking our jobs and blah, blah, blah. This fucking bullshit rhetoric. That's simply not true. I mean, I'm not one to make it about race. Like, I'm not blaming white people. I'm not blaming fucking black people. I'm not blaming brown people, because I am brown, and I can see where the divide is, where you just want to provide, you know, and make a life, but at the same time you're caught in between the gunfire, you know, and the turmoil of just existing in a society that is not meant for you to know. You know, the world is not meant for you to be knowledgeable and aware of what's going on. It wants you to just consume and be blinded and just shut the fuck up, obey, and buy shit every weekend, you know, with your paycheck. Don't pay attention to what's going on. Just keep your blinders on and just keep doing what you're doing. And God bless America. God bless the Middle East. God bless Mexico. Like, no, dude. God wouldn't fucking bless any of this shit. You think God's looking down at us like, good job, you guys are doing great. Like, I love this. I love how you guys are treating each other just how I wanted you to treat each other, you know? Like, I gave you motherfuckers everything you needed, and you still want to fuck each other over for more. Like, good job. No, dude. God is looking down at us because he loves us, because we're his creation. You know, we're all God. And I'm not even saying this as like a Catholic, as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jew, as a Buddhist, as a whatever the fuck. I'm saying this as a spiritual interconnectedness, a intertwined consciousness, that we need to wake up and start doing things that service our local community more. You know, we need to start paying attention to our surroundings immediately, to our immediate surroundings, not what's going on all over the world and virtue posting and people who like want to raise awareness. Like, raising awareness is cool and all, like I love it, but at the same time you got to realize that there's always two sides to every story, you know. And I'm not just saying a whole lot of nothing. Like, if you really look into it, people don't know why the fuck they're angry at each other, you know. People don't know why they do the things to other people, and it all boils down to just human negativity and human emotion, and how our pride, our envy, our lust, our greed, all these things, our gluttony, our fucking, you know, our perception of the world is so incredibly distorted and ill-informed. You know, whether you blame that on your family upbringing or the neighborhood you live in or your education or whatever it is, the world's not meant for you to be smart or to be considerate or to help thy neighbor. It's not. Because we live in a capitalist society. You know, if you live in the US or Mexico, like, or Canada or wherever it's a nation that is um, pro-capitalist, right? Or just has a government that's running it, whether it's a democracy or a republic or whatever it is you want to call it. It's not meant for you to be aware or to even think for yourself or to have a brain. It's meant for you to go through life passively and just accept things for what they are. And I simply don't agree. You know, I don't conform to that. I don't adhere to it, and I don't listen. And that's one of the things that I tend to piss people off with, you know, people who don't understand why I say or do the things I do, is because I don't see the world the way that most people see it. I see it very, not negatively, because I don't like to be negative, just realistically, you know. And if we're grounded in realism, right, and we're talking about the here and now, not tomorrow and not yesterday, it's getting worse, you know. It's just basically a classism thing. It's about wealth distribution. It's not about race. It's not about sexual identity. It's not about legal status, whether you're an illegal immigrant or you're a citizen or you're whatever your position in life may be. It's just about classism, you know, and we are definitely divided in that we don't accept one another in open arms because we're so caught up with keeping up with the Joneses, you know, having the latest thing, being just trendy, being whatever the fuck is popular right now. And to be honest, that's not congruent to anything productive. You know, that's not very wise, because the way I see it with, you know, artificial intelligence and social media and technology becoming more and more advanced, our phones listening into who we are, our phones are just an extension of ourselves, right? And whether you like it or not, this society, the world we're living in, right, the whole world is headed towards a more dehumanized, more decentralized, more logical and robotic kind of approach. But it's also difficult, you know, because the people who live by the rules, right, the people who only do what schools taught them, they're the ones that are the most susceptible to being brainwashed, right, by the propaganda, by what's going on now, and what you need to think, how you need to think. And I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I most definitely am. I mean, I live in a society. We live in a society. You know, not to be a meme, not to be like all my Joker shit, but it is what it is, you know? And I feel like if we can do something, right, to better this world, to really make it last while we have this gift of life within us, it's to change from within. You know, you're not going to see change in the world because the world is essentially just a mirror. It's a mirror and a reflection of who you are inside. And whatever you feed your brain, whatever you search up, whatever you do, wherever you find yourself at, the more and more you do that, the more you repeat it, you'll become it. That's just the law of correspondence. That's one of the laws of manifestation. It's a universal law, right? It's not a law in the sense of government. It's not a law in the sense of like cultural laws. It's not a law like in the sense of households or how your family operates. It's just a universal law. Your mentality is everything. And if you choose to be ignorant in a day and age where information is right there, it's readily available, there's public libraries, there's computers everywhere, then that's your fault. You know, that's it's nobody else's fault. And the only way we can learn is by accepting that we're wrong every day. I find myself to be wrong all the time, you know, and I find myself getting mad at people who cut me off in traffic or don't use their signals and almost kill me because I'm lane splitting, which I'm legally allowed to do as a cyclist. I'm allowed to lane split, but people don't care. Like, they're on their phone driving and shit with their tinted windows thinking the world revolves around them. They don't know that I got fucking a family or a legacy that I'm leaving behind. You know, they don't care. And that's what frustrates me is we're so self-centered as a society. We're so self-absorbed and egotistical. Narcissistic is the word. I joked about being a narcissist to people, but I'm really just saying that I have a high self-esteem. I care about myself. I'm only looking out for myself. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, if I look out for myself, I can look out for the people I care about the most, the people who are close to me. And it's not easy, you know. I was always taught to help out whenever I could, you know, whether it's a stranger or someone on the bus or someone in line, or if, you know, I always try and help people out because people are very accident prone and they don't know any better, you know. And I feel like in a lot of areas I do know better, and I try to help people out, you know, give them pointers, give them tips, guide them, but I can't save them all, you know. And I can't sacrifice my own freedom or my own well-being because someone else is fucking up or they don't value their lives as much as I value my life. And I care a lot about my life, you know. I'm in it to win it, baby. I'm in this shit not till the fucking tires are burned out, not till my fucking engine blows up on me, till the fucking rims are scraped clean off my shit and I go out in a ball of flames. That's how fucking deep I'm in this shit. Like there's no turning back for me. There is no turning back. There's no looking back. There's no regret. I don't have that anymore. I don't. I've realized I've come to a point where I've been too involved with everyone else's bullshit, everyone else's drama, everyone else's problems that I tend to overlook my own, or just let my own problems get bigger and bigger while I try and help out everyone else, you know, because as a man in this world, if you don't bring value, if you don't help out, if you don't care about the community you're in, then you're no fucking use at all. And if you're no use, then back to the fucking line you go, you know, back to the drawing board, back to zero. And I don't want to go back to zero again, you know. I've done it many times, but I know that there's a possibility that I might have to do it over and over again. I might have to fucking just fall all the way down. It's that crabs in a bucket mentality, man. It's that trying to reach the top without the help of anyone. Because for me, I feel like I used to think like this. If I let people in or let too many people in, then I would end up owing everyone. You know, I would end up having a debt with everyone, and I'd be living not for myself, but just living to please everyone else. And I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not. I am definitely a kind soul. I'm genuine. I'm considerate, but I'm not nice. I'm not polite. You know, maybe I'm trained to be that way because of my current job. Maybe I'm taught to be a certain way when I'm you know, in my disguise, when I'm in my work mode, or when I'm stepping outside, you know, and I just take a breather and I shut the door behind me to my home, and I'm okay, world, here I come. Here I come, baby. You know, here I come. Let's get it. Let's do it. Throw it at me. I'm ready. I don't have a plan for whatever you may throw at me, universe, but I know I can deal with it, you know? It's simple as that. It's that easy. But it's not easy. It's not easy. It requires a lot of cold decision making and a lot of cutting ties, you know, with the past, with people that don't serve you anymore. Maybe people just wanted a bit of your light in order to feel better themselves, but deep down, those people got a whole ton of things going on, and you thought at one point that, you know, you would be remembered or even appreciated for the things you did or have done, and it's simply never that way. You know, the world forgets about everything you do as soon as the morning comes. You know, you got to wake up and reset your brain and think, okay, today's a new day. Whatever I may have gotten wrong, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Me perdono. Me perdono. And that's that. And you get up, you know, you look at the sun, you feel the wind on your face, you touch the ground, you touch the dirt, and you humble yourself and you think, I'm so happy to be alive one more day. I'm so grateful. Because you can't be caught up in your own sadness. You can't be dwelling on your own problems because the world doesn't care. The world keeps rotating, the world keeps moving, the sun keeps going down, the moon keeps coming up, and the moon goes down, and the sun keeps going up. And it's never ending, man. This thing, we're in it, you know. And we gotta look out for each other. Because it's not possible to go through life by yourself. You need help. That was a problem for me forever since I was a teenager, was not accepting help, looking for guidance, looking for friends, looking for something, someone to follow, someone to not look after, but to model after. And after so much time doing that, I realized that there's nothing left. And I don't say this to be a pessimist. I don't say this to be a nihilist. I don't say this to be a negative person. I'm saying this out of pure, real experience. You know, there's nothing left at the end of the day. All you did was what you could, and that's that. And that's the best you could have done, you know, if you allowed yourself to do your best. But nobody's ever going to see how hard you work, not until over time they see it, you know. There comes a point when, like, think of it like a graph, right? And your life is so far out, your real life, I mean, and you don't see it because you're so caught up with your life right now and things that happened in the past, things that may have not gone your way. And me being my age, 22, I don't think that I'm that bad. I don't think that I've done that bad for myself. I just need to find my footing, and I need to keep at it, because it's so fast-paced, this world. And if you think that, even for a second, think that the world's gonna bend to your pace or care about your problems, then you're wrong, bud. You're wrong, buddy. That's where you're absolutely mistaken, because it doesn't care. It doesn't. It's gonna keep going, and you're gonna be stuck in your limited and narrowed perception. And I'm trying my best to do that. You know, I'm trying my best to widen my perspective. I'm trying my best to open my third eye. I'm trying my best to gather from my dreams, because we spend a third of our life asleep, you know. I'm trying to find what it is that keeps me going, and what's really the motive. What's the purpose of me being here besides all this worldly pleasure? You know, I had a conversation with a guy at the mall the other day. I was charging my bike, and he had a 777 tattoo somewhere on his body, and I was amazed. I pointed it out, and I showed him a card. It was an Uno card, you know, the game Uno, like the card game, and it was the blue 777. I keep it in my wallet all the time, because I believe it's more than just an angel number. It's a frequency. You know, if you go on YouTube and you search up 77. That's the card I'm talking about, the 777. It's a number that relates to otherworldly energy, not worldly materialistic energy, right? It's because I had a conversation with a guy at the mall, and he explained to me that from a biblical standpoint, that number has everything to do with the world as as it is in nature, you know, the divine, not 666, which is considered the devil's number or whatever the fuck. I don't even pay attention to that shit. I don't know if I believe in it, but it's not a number that is associated with things we can see, things we can touch, things we can feel. It's more a feeling. It's more of a consciousness. It's more of a higher spiritual thought process. And I keep this card in my wallet all the time, you know, just to remind myself whenever I'm out in the world and I'm looking around to never be jealous or expect things, you know, feel like I deserve things, not until I've earned them, you know. That's the problem with a lot of the world, is we feel like we deserve what someone else has worked hard for, or we feel like we need more than what we already have. I mean, we definitely need things. We need shelter, we need food, we need sleep, we need communication with people to feel sane. We need something to validate us, right? To validate our existence, to make us feel something. But at the same time, it's just a need. You know, when you need something, you already give it too much power. It's wanting it where you're on the frequency of manifesting and obtaining it at some point. If you really focus on it, if you really like hammer it on and focus on your dreams, then you'll have it, you will get it. But it comes from a place of wanting, from abundance, not from neediness, not from being closed off, I guess you could say. Anyways, that was a conversation with like a veteran dude, like this old white dude who happened to like my bike, and I was charging it, and we just talked about batteries and shit and electricity. And, you know, he was telling me how he was addicted to hard drugs for a long time. He couldn't stop smoking like rocks or meth or something, or heroin, my bad. He told me he couldn't get off heroin for the longest time, but that's when he started awakening, when he got off that shit. And good for him, man, good for him. I hope anyone who's dealing with a really, really sick addiction gets through it or surpasses it, because life is too short, you know, and we are not here to be victims or subjects to things that are not holy, things that are not meant for us to be better spiritual beings, to be better human beings. You know, hard drugs and vices and just party environments are not something that really help us. That's not something that benefits us in the long run. Is it fun for in the moment? Sure it is, I guess, but it's not fulfilling, you know? So shout out to that guy. And to close out this episode, give yourself a chance every day. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a fighting fucking chance, because you deserve it. Anyways, this has been episode 3 of the Blind Border Donkey podcast. I'm your host, Ramon Salazar. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week, Thursday, for the 4th episode. And I appreciate every single one of you if you tuned in, and catch you on the flip side. Adios.